Greetings, everyone. This is Heather Leigh, and I am going to be talking about Haunted Las Vegas, Henderson, and Boulder City, Nevada. Now, this one's going to be in place of my normal ghost town talks that we do for the Henderson Libraries, which, again, as always, I want to thank everyone for joining us and also thank the Henderson Libraries for having me. And I truly do hope that you guys enjoy this presentation. We decided to do something a little different just because Halloween is coming, and everyone's been asking me about popular haunted locations throughout Southern Nevada. And I wanted to focus on Las Vegas, Henderson, and Boulder City with some of the most common hauntings, not evidence, but actual experiences that I've had that I can share with you throughout the area, as well as some urban legends that have pretty much almost been proven untrue. So let's get started with this presentation. Okay, so Haunted Las Vegas. Las Vegas has a very interesting history, and every time I research something, I'm always finding something new. Some of the history is filled with excitement. Of course, you think of Sin City as being exciting, and some of it is filled with traumatic events. And most of these traumatic events are associated with the mob and when Vegas first started. Everything from happy times to sad times continue to fuel the paranormal activity reported throughout Sin City. It is rumored that the spirits of Red Fox, Liberace, Elvis, and Bugsy Siegel are just some of the spirits still lingering at their favorite Vegas locations. Okay, and I'm going to go through some of the most popular ones and also some not so popular haunted locations for Las Vegas. Okay, the first one is Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino. Everybody knows Elvis, or most people know Elvis. I know there's a couple not from the area or people who just don't know music. Believe it or not, I've had people say, "Who's Elvis?" But anyway, back to the topic. Has he left the building? There are many reports claiming that he hasn't. Some people have seen him in the Elvis suite lingering around. Others have seen him backstage at the International Theater getting ready for a show. And some have actually seen him just kind of wandering the pool area at night. So my question is has Elvis left the building? I haven't experienced it, but I have had several people who have firsthand claims of experiencing seeing Elvis or experiencing something that makes them believe that Elvis is still here in Vegas. The tunnels at Sand Hill Road. These are very creepy tunnels to begin with. People who have gone to visit them or investigate them have heard eerie voices, cries, and sounds coming from within the tunnels. From what I understand, I've never been there. Not the best area of town, so it's not advised to go at night alone. And are those eerie voices and cries actually coming from the tunnels, or are they sounds being sent through the tunnels from another area? Are people in the tunnels that those who visited didn't see? And also, as wind travels through the tunnel, could that be making the eerie cries and sounds that people are hearing? As far as the tunnels at Sand Hill Road, with my not being there, I really can't confirm or disprove any of the paranormal activity that happens there, but these are just some of the reports that happen, and I shared some reasons why it might not be paranormal. The Flamingo Hotel. Bugsy Siegel has been reported hanging all over the Flamingo Hotel. People have seen him in his room, walking through the hallway, and one of the most common places for people to see him at is the memorial plaque that they have there by the pool. Many people feel touches on the shoulders around these areas. They've heard voices, and some people have actually seen his apparition. Red Fox. He's believed to still hang out in his home, which he lost to the IRS many, many moons ago for owing back taxes. He just never left. He still hangs around. There have been videos of apparitions walking through. People have smelled his favorite coffees, and he just doesn't want to leave. And other strange things have happened in the house that are believed to be part of Red Fox, such as paperwork being shuffled around, things being moved when people come back in the next day. There's just a whole bunch of stories behind that house. The Mob Museum. This is one of the locations that I just so want to get into and do an investigation at. Basically, Las Vegas mobsters were believed to haunt this location. And basically, this museum used to be an old courthouse where they were tried and convicted. And then also, so they're still haunting the location. And as well as there's a lot of artifacts there, and they could be tied to the artifacts. Some report that the St. Valentine Day Massacre in Chicago, parts of the wall are featured at the Mob Museum. And some people claim that they can hear cries, see apparitions, and hear gunfire of the Tommy guns going off when they are around the the display for the St. Valentine Day Massacre. Okay, and then just a little side story. The area where the massacre happened, there are reports of seeing apparitions wandering aimlessly around the area. Okay, more haunted Las Vegas. La Plaza Mansion. This is probably one of the most popular. I want to say it's an urban legend just because I've never investigated it. And I've had some people say that when they've gone in there, they didn't feel anything. But one thing I do want to say is whenever you do a paranormal investigation, these ghosts do not perform for you on command. That is, I guess that's popular belief. People want to believe that everywhere you go, if it's haunted, you're going to get activity, and you're not. There's been locations that we know is haunted because we've been there before, and then we've gone back and visited another time and nothing. So it just all depends on who's going, what's happening, and a whole bunch of other factors as to whether or not people may or may not get paranormal activity. But basically, this mansion is often referred to as Satan's Mansion. It used to be the home of a mobster where many gruesome mob murders happened, and it is believed to be haunted by several ghosts, including several demons are reported to be there. And this is because just the negative energy, and there's secret tunnels, secret passageways throughout the house, so many corners that you can go to. Just a lot of negative energy in this home has been reported, including being touched. Some people have reported being pushed and shoved and scratched. And it's just, the list goes on and on as to what can happen at the La Plaza Mansion. Okay, Liberace's museum collection. He's just not ready to give up his possessions. And there's many reports that he lingers around his items that are, again, sorry guys for the typo. I swear I proofread. They're held in the mansion or in the museum. He just kind of, people see him hanging around, especially his different pianos, his clothing. They just so many different reports. It would take me forever to list the different reports on where he's been seen. Now, Tupac's ghost. Rapper and actor Tupac Shakur was gunned down at the corner of Flamingo and Koval. Many people have seen his ghost walking the street, wearing the same clothing that he wore during that location, during the time of his murder. And I will get to a story in just a minute about experience that we had that could be Tupac's ghost at another undisclosed location, but I'll get to that in just 1 minute. You have Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum. You can't have a haunted museum without reports of paranormal activity. There are several reports that activity is caused by the many haunted objects he has in the museum with the spirits attached to them. Now, he goes after some of the most famous paranormal reports and some of the most famous and creepiest objects. Is the museum really haunted? I'm sure there's some activity in the museum based on the objects and reports I've heard. Or is also the question is, you could also ask, is the museum haunted or feels like it's haunted because of the stories, the background, and the lead in to your going and visiting the museum? I'm going to leave that up to anybody who goes there. Haven't investigated the museum. So it's one of those things where I'm sure there is some paranormal activity in there, but everybody's going to experience something different based on what they see, feel, and hear, and what they were told before they went to the museum. Now, a couple quick paranormal experiences that I've had in Las Vegas. The one that I mentioned earlier, we were at an undisclosed location, and one of the investigators with me said, wouldn't it be cool if we could sit down and have a conversation with Tupac? On our audio recorder, immediately after, we got a "I'm right here." So was that Tupac's ghost that we heard, or was that someone else letting us know they were there and wanting to talk to us? Not 100% sure on that one. Then another experience I had is we were at another location that, sorry guys, I can't give these locations out. They don't want to be known. And we were doing the investigation, and I just suddenly wasn't feeling good. And I had an ovilus, which I'm not a big fan of. So I was testing it out because one of our investigators had one with them. And across the ovilus came death, demon, devil, and sacrifice. And I was like, okay, well, who are you planning on sacrificing is what I asked. That's, my investigator instincts, ask questions. And immediately after I got you, as someone ran their finger from the back of my neck down to my lower back. And that was like one of the most chilling experiences I've ever had in Las Vegas. And for those of you who don't know what an obelisk is, it's basically a box that has a predetermined dictionary in it. And that's why I'm not a big fan of it, because it already has words in it. And I'm still trying to figure out how ghosts can manipulate the energy to bring up certain words. But just the fact that it actually responded at the same time something touched me kind of is making me rethink that. But I still need to see some more evidence on if that works or not. Okay, now we're going to move on to Henderson. There are several sightings of ghosts at local parks and museums throughout Henderson. The first one, as I mentioned earlier, Fox Ridge Park. I had said that there are several urban legends, and I'm just going to talk about what people say, but I have not found any reports of a boy being killed by a car in the near area, in the vicinity. And I have also not had any experiences at Fox Ridge Park, and I know several paranormal investigators who have not had any experiences there either. So this one could be more of an urban legend and not a haunting. So, reports of a boy haunting the swings. It is believed that this is the spirit of a boy who was hit by a car just across the street from the park by a drunk driver one day. People have had lots of EMF interference and voices on their digital voice recorders. And the thing is what some of the reports have evolved to is that when you approach this boy on the swings, his eyes turn bright red and he turns into a demon. You know, whether or not that happens, it could, because it could be a demon pretending to be a boy, if that were the case. But again, like I had said, I have no experience, no evidence, so I really can't confirm or deny this one. So for me personally, I just kind of chalk this one up as more of an urban legend. Green Valley Park. There are several reports of spirits lingering and coming out at night looking to interact with the living. I haven't been there personally at night, but I've heard several people talk about spirits have come up and talked to them. They've seen spirits sitting on benches. They've got captured EVPs, which is electric voice phenomenon, on their digital voice recorders. A lot of different things. Some people have even seen strange lights. So again, I can't confirm or deny Green Valley Park just because I have not been there at night. So I'm not quite sure, but those are the reports that several people who I trust in this field have told me have happened at that park. Clark County Museum. Now, this one, it's not haunted per se, but I wanted to list it because it could possibly be haunted. It is the home, Clark County Museum in their Heritage Street. They have a home from Goldfield. And many, as you guys know, many homes in Goldfield are haunted. Many locations throughout Goldfield are haunted. And this particular home, some people I've seen on the internet say that they believe that it is still haunted by the former owners, including Edward Schofield Gillies. Now, I visited this museum several times, have not had any personal experiences. No investigations are allowed at the Clark County Museum, so we can't actually get that evidence. So all we have to rely on is two stories that I found on the internet. But I wanted to mention this because I'm not saying it's haunted. I'm just saying it's possible just because of where it's come from and all the activity in the home. But if you haven't been to the Clark County Museum, I thoroughly recommend you guys go. It is a beautiful museum and a great way to spend an afternoon, and then walk into that particular building from Goldfield and see what you feel. Okay, now McCullough School of Mines. This is one of my favorite places to investigate. I have had several personal experiences. I have investigated this museum several times, including taking several groups in there to do investigations with, to show people what I do and how I do it. I have interacted with a spirit of a miner who still lingers inside the mine area. His name is Donald. He hangs around where his clothes are, and he has also been known to walk around the back area where they have an elevator from the mine, from a mine shaft that came from Searchlight. I've gotten EVPs with him. He's touched me. I've actually heard him laugh. I've seen his apparition run from one area to another in the back area of the mine. So it's a very interesting place to go as far as looking for paranormal activity. Nothing negative there, very positive, very uplifting, always a happy place to go. So if anybody's worried about paranormal activity at the Clark County Museum or McCullough School of Mines, don't, because I've been there several times to both of them and nothing negative is there. And like I had said before, I really can't confirm or deny if Clark County Museum is haunted. I just wanted to share the little story that I had. Also at McCullough School of Mines, there's a little boy that's reported running around. by the train from Area 51. Now, this little boy I've actually seen. I've seen his feet looking under the train from across the park. And I've also seen him peeking around from the corner. From our investigation that we did there the last time, he is around between 8 and 12 from what we've gathered from our EVP and our interactions with him. And I'm hoping to go back to do more investigating to get more information on that one. Now, before I continue moving on to Boulder City, the one thing I want to say is these haunted locations, a lot of them are private property. So do not go to any of these locations to conduct a paranormal investigation without permission from the managers or the owners, and make sure the person has the authority to give you permission to do an investigation. And also do not go to these locations expecting to have a paranormal experience, because just because you walk through a location such as Fox Ridge Park or Clark County Museum or even McCall School of Mines, it's taken several investigations for investigators to get the information that they have to confirm or deny if something is haunted or not. So just don't bother the spirits, don't bother the managers, don't bother the workers. If you're going to go to any of these locations, just go to have a good time and experience the area. Don't go looking for paranormal activity. Okay, our last city, Boulder City. The Boulder Dam Hotel. There are many reports of spirits walking around, including a maid who is seen cleaning up in several rooms. And there's also a report of, I'm not sure exactly what his job was, but I believe it was a bellhop or just a front desk worker, but I do believe it was a bellhop. They've seen him running around the museum. Other reports include feeling a hand grab your shoulder and feelings of something grabbing your ankle from the floor. And have not been in that location because they also do not allow paranormal investigations. Old Boulder City Hospital. Wish I could get more information on this one, but it is no longer there. This hospital was used for workers of the Hoover Dam when they became injured or sick, and it eventually became a community center. And during the time it was a community center, there were many unexplained noises, footsteps, and shadow figures. And for that one, I do believe before it was torn down, Ghost Hunters, I believe it was, did a show at that location. So if you want more information on the paranormal activity there, try to find the episode on Ghost Hunters where they featured it. Hoover Dam. For those of you who don't know, the Hoover Dam workers back in the day adopted a dog that wandered on site. They fed the dog, took care of the dog. The dog was actually protected. If anyone was caught abusing the dog or hurting the dog, they actually got in trouble by the managers and the foremen that were working there. There are reports of seeing the apparition of this dog. His grave is actually at the site of the Hoover Dam. You can see it when you're walking down to the dam from the parking garage. And a lot of people have seen him running around. Just see a dog dart across the street and all of a sudden he disappears. There is reports of spirit of a woman who jumped from the Michael Callahan Pat Tillman Memorial Bridge. People have seen her on the bridge, as well as people have seen her on the Hoover Dam. Some reports have included seeing a woman dart across the bridge and just scare the crap out of people who are driving. I'm sorry to laugh, but I couldn't imagine that hitting your brakes on that bridge. That bridge scares me anyway because it's so high. So I just couldn't imagine that. Also, several apparitions of workers have been seen in the tunnels inside the dam. Strange noises, muffled conversations, and footsteps have all been reported by both employees and guests. Historic railroad tunnels. This is one, if you're alone walking through the tunnel, you're not going to feel alone. You're also going to hear strange noises, voices, and footsteps. If you stop walking and just stand still, you can hear all of that happening around you when no one else is around you or moving. Okay, so that concludes. Our next presentation is going to be Oatman, Arizona. We will be covering this next month in November. It might come out a little bit early because I think of Thanksgiving, so we might be doing it the week before. Does Clark Gable still haunt the Oatman Hotel? I know he spent his honeymoon there, so let's find out more next month about the Oatman Hotel, Clark Gable, and other paranormal activity found throughout the town of Oatman. If this is your first time watching us, here is my information. You guys can find me. I've appeared in the documentary Real Haunts Ghost Towns by Motion Picture Video, and Real Haunts 3 is actually coming out Halloween. Coming in 2022 is my book from the History Press, Ghosts of Southern Nevada Ghost Towns. You can find me at Dr. Heather Leigh or at Exploration Paranormal on Facebook. at Heather Leigh Landon on Instagram. I also have a blog, and you can find me on Pinterest. And also, I wanted to mention, if anyone is needing paranormal activity assistance because you have activity in your home, I work with a great group of researchers at the Warren Legacy Foundation, co-founded by the grandson of Ed and Lorraine Warren. We help families and people all around the world. So if you guys need any help, just look us up at warrenlegacy.com. And again, thank you, Henderson Libraries, for allowing me to host these. These are so much fun. And thank you, everybody, for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. And also stay tuned for, I am going to be doing a quick presentation for the libraries to put up. Not sure when they're going to put it up, on Haunted Goldfield. I was going to do Haunted Southern Ghost Towns, but I ended up, there were so many that I just decided to do Goldfield this time around. And if you guys want to see more about paranormal activity and not just learn about local ghost towns, let the libraries know, and they will let me know to start focusing more on the paranormal activity and not the history. Again, thank you guys for joining us, and thank you, Henderson Libraries. As always, it's been a pleasure.